Well, we got another night of rigging here. We just got back from work, and so we pulled some wires that were already in the other boat, and we're gonna use some of that today, or at least the Garmin stuff, and see how much we can get done here. It's starting to look pretty nasty out. Storm's coming, and so we're gonna try to get as much as we can get done before the storm gets here, because we got to get stuff prepared for this weekend. So we're getting out of town for our first tournament this weekend, so hopefully we can get a pretty good amount of stuff done, at least get some graphs. If we can get some wires around, that'd be nice as well. Tailor mounts and the rest of the wires come. So here we go, another night of rigging. Well, just like last night, this Hummingbird bracket, like, give Bass Boat Technologies a lot of credit. They have their mounts completely all done ready. It's drawn up with everything, how to put your graphs in there. Problem is, this Hummingbird mount with their screws isn't the same size, so probably gonna have to drill this mount out just so I can get that screw in there, because their mount, let me show you this. You can see the mount is made just for their screws underneath. It's an ingenious thing when the mount works. Maybe if I bought one of their mounts or something, it'd have the right screw size, I'm sure, but the actual Hummingbird bracket doesn't, and then I'd have to wait a couple more days. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to drill this out just a little bit. If I do it on those inner holes, it shouldn't completely ruin the bracket, I don't think. I guess we'll see. We're gonna have to do that so we can fit the screws in there. So, just keeps on coming, you know how it goes. Woo, we just found out though, we got a couple packages early. No mounts yet, but we got our 10 gauge wire. We got some live scope mount protectors. It seems like my Garmin graph seems like it's starting to get nicked up a little bit. I'm a little skeptical on it, but we got this for the active target, we got another one, and we got wires. So if we can get rolling, we can get some stuff done tonight. So more next. So here you go, first step. Just gonna be taking this plate off right here. Just pulling the screws out. These ones must be all the way through. And so that's the next step. We'll pull this out and we're gonna go from there. Pull this bracket off and get it on there and do some cutting as well. So more of that next. So nice and simple. Now we're just going to take this plate off, see what we see underneath there. Oh, sweet. Looks like we're gonna have to pull this thing up, which is kind of a bummer. Holy long screw on that guy. Okay. These two screws. You can see we exposed the inner part right here. That's what we were looking for. So now we're just taking the brackets off so we can get our Lowrance live scope off here. Shouldn't be too bad. Well, we got that off there, so the next step is we're going to put it over there. So we're just going to put the mount, HDS live one right there, and we'll be set. So I was a little confused at first, but they had this in their unit mounting hardware, which is what was for the live. The bottom row, they had them in with it already. There's already screws in there. So I used this to get that together. There's not really enough room underneath it, so I got to use just the good old wrench. I'm going to have to use an Allen wrench screw, and that's next. There we go. We got that nice and solid on there. We tightened everything up. Here we go. Just ever so slightly did we have to cut this hole so the screw could fit in there. Just slightly bigger than what was there before. Drill bit size was, well, never know. Not for sure, but the drill is just slightly bigger than what the bracket has, so we're gonna put that on next. So thanks Bassboat Technologies, they already got everything already set up. So you just gotta screw it down. Bracket. There we go. Nice and tight. Got that ready. We got two mounts. We just need to get the Garmin right there. So that rod tube didn't go anywhere. The rod tube in the back didn't go anywhere. It just went below. There is another rod tube at the bow. It's kind of underneath here. Took me a second to get the fish tape through, but it ran there all the way, and I can hear it going back there. So the rod tube right down here, there's a tube. And once you get inside there, it took a little effort to get by the rod and locker, but it's all the way back now. Wow, what a run that was. So, just popped out. I could hear it going back. Just barely could see. I guess it's one of the good things about the Nitros. I could pop off this back here, and I could see, and the fish tape was coming through here. Looks like somebody was standing back here when they manufactured it, but that's here nor there after we start using it. But the fish tape's right here, good enough so I can run it all the way back. So I'd call that a success, baby. So, as you've probably seen in videos before, we got our fish tape. We got another lead to get our, when our fish rope goes all the way back over there, we can get it back, and then we have what we're trying to run through, 2 10-gauge wires. So we're gonna get all those together, get them tight, so when we pull that way, pull our fish tape rope back, we'll have that, and we'll have another lead to pull our other wire back. So I just got the fish tape, I'm just starting to reel it in, bring it back so I can get back to this side.
That's going to be discussed that I'm...
Unrelenting power delivery core, unparalleled weight savings. Keeping you on the water, whether you run a 9-9 or out scoping your best fun.
Well, we hit the tape, so we're close. This last little bit's been a little hard though. A little last ditch effort, and we got our wire through. Whew. It's always something trying to run that baby through that little wire. Now we got to get one more through. So here we go. We got the wire together. We just split it. We cut here, and then I got my hummingbird wire. We're gonna use this for the hummingbird, and we're just gonna connect these two, and we should have enough line to connect those two, and we'll go from there. Got those pretty well. That one's pretty crimped. So we just did a heat shrink tubing on those two, and we're just going to wrap them up quick. This is for our hummingbird. And voila, hummingbird's set to go. Actually, I don't think I need as much room as what I had before, so I'm gonna feed it. So we cut the wires off in the back. I didn't show you that, did a couple zip ties. And now we're just gonna wrap some more tape around here so we can send another wire all the way back. So we still gotta run the hummingbird. We ran fish tape. There's a little hole that's back here. And I kept searching forever, but we ran it. And pulled it out down here. And it was actually way, way, way up here, so I couldn't see it. But we're gonna get fish tape to get that hummingbird set up. That's next. Well, we got the wires returned, so we can run our wires up to the hummingbird. And that's about it for what we're gonna do tonight. We got some more rain to do tomorrow night. We had to start, but we got our wires run, which is one of the worst things I think around here. So got almost all the wires run except for the black box for the live scope, and we will reset. So we got 1, 2, 3 wires run. Or tomorrow night. So here we are the next morning. We're just getting the hummingbird for up there. We're getting the wires together for that. We're gonna crimp it and everything. so we can get our power up to here. Here we go. We just got back from work, and once again we're back working on the boat because we got a tournament coming up. We leave for Iowa on Friday. It's Wednesday afternoon, 4 o'clock, and so we are trying to get the boat together. As you saw this morning what I got done, so we're gonna get back to it, try to get the Hummingbird set up here in the console. We got some things to run. We just went to the hardware store once again for more connectors. We got a Hummingbird cord connector. We tried to get a couple other things which we can't get right now, security locks and stuff like that, so kind of just been piecing it together. I got my mount for my Garmin back off the boat again, so we got a few things to do here. We're gonna keep rigging. There we go. We got all 3 mounts on there, so that's ready to go up. We gotta finish our last wiring of this, which is the last one. We gotta wire right here. Hopefully we can get that rigged up. That's for the Garmin. And then we gotta finish off getting the Hummingbird together. So that's next.
Terry.
So we had to move some batteries around. We ended up putting the starting battery there. We got our electronics one. We got live scope run back there. Now we're just getting the live scope box. We ran a wire from there down to here to run our wires because you can't get a dang cable or the black box anymore to run far enough away. So we had to put it farther up here in the front. So we just ran wires for that. So we just got the Garmin black box for the live scope. It's put underneath here, just in the rod locker. It's on the ground. We got stuff above with life jackets and some other things, so it's pretty secure, but we had to run the wires from there all the way back. So another thing done. Here we go. We're finally getting to the bow mount. So since I got a Nitro, there's a couple extra steps. So it's not 100% right. There's these little lug screws. So I ended up putting all my screws in around the plate to get it to the right spot. And I'll show you. So these screws fit in the holes around here. So I did that. And then I grabbed one of these bolts and I fed it through because you're gonna have to drill a hole here, 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 and here. And then I sat there and ground it in there to mark the holes for where you're going to cut it out. So you're going to have to make 4 holes right there, incisions, so these can get through the plate. And then I've grabbed my other part of the plate over there, the top part, that plate, put that on top, and then I used a permanent marker, and I'm going to have to cut a hole. I'm going to have to cut one more hole. I took the permanent marker and traced out a spot. We're gonna have to cut that out too. So that's the next step. It's drilling out some holes. Half-inch drill bit. Well, here's where we leave the night. We cut our hole through here. We got kind of the rest of everything set up for the most part. So, pretty good night. Cut that hole, we got these holes all drilled. So, yeah, it's good. Quick little morning session. We got our scope together. We got that. We ran the wires up and around. And we're gonna have to tie that back in. Took a little bit this morning to find the right mount for here, but we got that. We cleaned some stuff up. And then just getting a little more prepared. We just probably can't see, but we got a couple more wires run. So it's coming together. Well, the way things are right now, waiting on the mounts for the 360 and the HDS Live 9, and of course they got delayed, so they're not coming today. In fact, they're not coming till next week, till I'm in Iowa. So we had to make do. Luckily the good people of Frankie's had this gimbal mount, not the right one. We're gonna have to jimmy rig some stuff, get up to the hardware store once again for like every day this whole week. And we're gonna have to run without 360. I wanted to wait till I got this last little bit in there before I put it all together, but it just can't happen now that I'm leaving tomorrow. So we're making a couple things happening. We're tying together loose wires. We're getting about as good as we can. So we're gonna start working here on getting the last of this mount together. Looks like there's different screws that they have to use into here, so we're gonna get those screws together next. So here we go. We got the plate back on. We got the original screws all lined up, plus these ones. And then we got these three that weren't used before. So came with these bigger screws. I didn't use those. I put back in the original ones. But I'm going to put one of those big ones in there and then two littler ones to get into the plastic, since there's nothing to catch them behind. So I can just use littler screws for that. What's next? So I just added these three screws. This one didn't quite go in all the way, and I'm concerned that I might have just missed this or going into something. So we're gonna leave that one up, but the bracket's in. Thanks, my local hardware store here in White Bear. Whatever trip this is, just for rigging stuff. Bass Boat Technologies was really good. They sent screws for everything. They had it all right, but the size they had on there was just wrong for the mount I got from my Hummingbird. So we just doubled it up. We got another Hummingbird to go. We're still just running around trying to get things, trying to find a gimbal mount today for my HDS 9. And we're still working on that one. We had to order something, but more to come. So now I'm just putting in these 4 Allen wrench screws. I got both those mounts are on. It's the last little bit here. 4 Allen wrench screws. And voila, we got that installed. Now to get the graphs on. So there we go. We got our switch, we got everything wired. We're set. Well, there we go. Not really what we wanted. We had to settle for a 12 HDS mount with a 9-incher. We had to do some rubber washers and stuff to make it all work. You can see that on there. Yeah, that's not the best, but it'll get us through. The tournament's coming. It looks pretty good and sturdy. Feel confident with that thing. So we'll take that and then we'll be good. So we got a little bit more rigging to do, as you can see. So here we go. We got the 3 up here. You can see my bracket for the 360 didn't come, so we still got to get that going. But we got all 3 graphs wired in up there, waiting on the 360. And then, like I said before, we had a jimmy rig this little 9 with the 12-inch bracket. We got these 2 going. Final rigging's kind of a little hectic down there, but I like to use that breaker. And so that's all the rigging for now. We got some more to do, obviously, when that 360 comes, and then this bracket comes here for the HDS, and we got to clean up some wiring and stuff. But what a hectic last couple of days to get it all together. A lot of trips to the hardware store. So I hope you learned some things, and we'll see you next time.